Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. We're really excited to be here this morning to present with you guys. All of us are really excited to be here at the IC3 conference. This is my second conference. I know Miss Lakshmi here has also been to many, and Ragvi here is a volunteer for the IC3 conference. So again, we're really excited to be here and happy to see you all. So first, I'll give just a quick introduction of who we are. Then we'll check out to see who's in the room with us, and then we'll go into our panel discussion for this morning. So my name is Mary Wilcox. I work for Old Dominion University. I'm the International Recruitment Coordinator. So we're located in the U.S. in Virginia, about 3 hours from Washington, D.C., close to the beach, which is really fun. So I do most of the recruitment for our International Admissions Office at ODU. We also, unfortunately, we were supposed to have a counselor from Bangladesh join us, but she had some issues with her visa. So we will have a video at the end of our presentation to get to hear from her as well, because her insight was really important to our panel discussion. So she'll still be included, and we'll hear from her at the end of the presentation. But I just wanted to give her a quick introduction. Her name is Nusrat Sharmin. She's currently working as the head of college counseling department for the Aga Khan School in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Prior to her joining at the Aga Khan, she worked as a college counselor and the SAT Center Coordinator at the International School Dhaka for 10 years. She's traveled immensely to many universities and schools around the world, and she's also serves as a team member of the IC3 for Inclusion, Diversity, and Scholarship Committee from 2020 to 2022. We also have Miss Lakshmi Rao here. Lakshmi and I have become very special colleagues, and so we're very excited to present together. So she brings her unique blend of professional intelligence and hands-on experience in student psychology and career guidance counseling with a dual specialization in master's majoring in education management and counseling. She's also an alumni of the University of California, LA campus for counseling. She has held many leadership roles in her 18 plus years of professional journey in India as well as global markets. She's currently the head of University and Career Guidance Counseling at the Srindihi International School in Hyderabad. She aims to help her students discover themselves, broaden their perspectives, find their purpose in life, and make decisions based on their interests and strengths. So again, Miss Lakshmi Rao, she has taught me so many things during my time at ODU. So again, welcome. And then lastly, we have Ragvi here. She is a grade 12 student at the Heritage School. She's an easygoing and fun person, as I've learned since we just met a couple days ago. And she loves interacting with others and making new friends. Socializing is one of her strengths, and she has a passion for public speaking, which is one of the biggest reasons probably why she's here. So we're also excited to have her. She's from the Heritage School here in New Delhi. So now that you guys know who we are, this is our panel discussion. Today we're going to focus on how to best refine university and counselor collaborations. So the goal of recruitment, the goal of counseling, the needs of the student are ultimately to be empowered, to learn from the resources that are being offered to them within their high school and from around the world. So today we just kind of want to create a very organic discussion about what that looks like. What are some tangible and practical ways that universities can empower students, counselors can empower students, and ultimately what are ways that we can really work together to make that happen. So now we want to just ask who else is in the room. So if you just want to raise your hand if you are a university representative. Okay, yeah. So many university reps, welcome. I'm with you. What about counselors? Welcome. How about any school leaders or teachers? Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. I think we have a very good representation. Um, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our session. I'll be the moderator today, and we'll get to hear from counselor perspective as well as student perspective. And then, of course, at the end of the session, we'll have time for some Q&A. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first question, of course, we have student and counselor here, so let's just hear directly from the source. I think a lot of times it's in a, wrap around circular motion, and sometimes we just need to ask directly. So first off, I know, Lakshmi, you've been doing this for a long time, 18 plus years of work. And so in terms of working together, I was talking about making that cohesive triangle between university, school, and student. How strong do you feel that that is? How have you seen it evolve over time in terms of the interaction and the relationship there?
Hi, good morning. That's a great question to start with. My personal experience says the past 2 to 3 years has seen a lot of evolvement in the relationship between the counselors and the university representatives. I think the bond is strengthened to an extent that we actually support each other as an extension of what we do. And today I can definitely vouch to say that the university representatives don't sell their college anymore. If I approach any of them for a support to any of my students, I definitely know that they would understand the area where the student actually requires an advice and guide them accordingly. Tell them the best fitment, and if they are not suitable for their particular university, they definitely go ahead and guide them the right way as to what kind of universities would be the right fit for them, or what are the areas they actually need to focus from an admission point of view. And I'm sure it's the same from my network. I have a lot of friends in the university fraternity, and that's exactly what they convey to me as well, that they can definitely approach the university, the school counselors, not just to try and identify students for applications for their universities. Instead, they do try and talk to us to understand what it is to, know what exactly a student could be and what are the resources that they could provide for a student to find their best fitment. So I definitely see a lot of evolving happening there, and I think we are together in this. Would the university representatives agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this just for 2 years and I've seen it evolve, so I can't imagine within 15 plus years how you've seen the relationship evolve over time. So for you, Ragvi, as a student, you're now in grade 12, so I'm curious how you've seen the relationships with your counselor and universities evolve over time. What has that looked like to you? What are some positive things, and maybe what have been some challenges?
All right. Basically, when we're talking about counselors first, I would say that I have been like really lucky for like having such supportive counselors in my school, because whenever I have like a million questions to them, because I am in 12th now and I want to gain all of the knowledge about colleges, about my career, and then they answer all of the questions without being agitated or like irritated because I ask a lot of questions to them. But answering all the questions which I asked to them with like a lot of knowledge is something which is a positive side to the counselors and students relationship. And when we talk about universities, so you know we have college fairs in our school, so I have personally interacted with college reps, and I have talked to them, socialized with them, and I have asked them a million questions too. And all of them have been truly very generous to me by answering all the important questions for my career, for whatever doubts I have about universities, whether they require certain exams, or like if they have the certain majors and minors I require. So I think that is a positive side to the student and university representatives relationship too. And when we talk about the challenges I faced, was back when I was in like my 10th grade, I was a very shy person. And talking to college university reps was a really difficult task for me. So because I did not have a lot of knowledge about the universities and what they offer, what they don't offer, their majors, minors, tuition fees, things like that, which is really important to know for a student, I did not have questions to ask because I did not have knowledge. So that point also was like really negative for me, because when you don't have knowledge about certain things, you cannot post questions on the table. So I think that is a negative side to what I have personally faced.
Yeah, that's great. And in terms of the relationship, ensuring that your counselor is giving you those resources, so that when you do show up to those fairs and different things, you feel confident to ask questions.
Yeah.
So as we've been talking about, this whole process really has evolved over time. So Lakshmi, I know that again you've seen it from many different angles, and you've had to navigate that as the climate of recruitment and different things have changed over time. So I'm curious, what has been just something that kind of pops to your mind, a really meaningful interaction that you've had with universities since you've been in your position? Kind of what did that look like? Why did you feel like it was meaningful? Why did you have a positive experience?
I think the university delegates go that extra mile to interact with the counselors and help us understand not just the majors and minors that are available in their respective universities, but they also go ahead and talk to us about what kind of students are they looking for in specific, and what kind of student portfolio would they be expecting to be accepted into a particular university. In addition, for me, what happens, at least that's what I follow, and it has been very helpful to me all through. Whenever there is a college fair, before the day of the college fair, at least a week in advance, we make sure that the information that's specifically pertaining to the list of participating universities is shared with the students. I mean, not just the names, but also specific information about the highlights of the college, the programs, the scholarships, and a little bit about the person who's actually visiting the campus. So this gives ample time for the students to actually run through and do their homework before the day out of the fair. So I think representatives take that time to actually give us a brief about it and not just dump me with a brochure. So that's something that has been very insightful for us.
Yeah, and in terms of like actually creating that meaningful connection rather than just handing you the brochure, but
Absolutely. And
giving you an
vice versa,
opportunity.
it's also that while I take the information from each of the representative, that would be passed on to the entire student community. The representatives also have a detailed understanding of the pulse of the students in my respect in the school, so they understand what kind of a crowd can they expect when they visit us, so they also can do their homework before they actually walk into the day of the fair.
And that goes back to your point in terms of creating that level of confidence to then go into the fair because of the resources that your counselor has provided you with. So, Ragvi, from your perspective, what has been a really meaningful interaction that you've had with a university, maybe during a fair or workshop or whatever it may be? What kind of pops to your mind in that moment of a meaningful interaction?
All right. Um, I have this very nice personal experience which I had with one of the university representatives in my school when we had our college fair. So I remember going to this university representative and asking him like a million questions about whether you have majors and minors, and what is your tuition fees, where are you located at, because personally I want to do law, pursue law, and I had so many questions about it. Also because gaining knowledge about certain things will also help you in the future. And I remember him like being extremely generous and answering all of my questions. And also they give you this brochure which has a lot of details about the career you want to pursue. So I think that way is also this interaction with the university representative with which I had was like extremely nice.
So you mentioned the brochure that they gave
Right,
you.
right.
In terms of the brochure, when you're receiving a lot of brochures during these fairs, so what makes a brochure really stick out to you from a university representative? Like what piques your interest, or which ones are you like, okay, maybe I'll just throw this one away?
Okay. Definitely, because like as students, you don't, you feel a lot of confusion when you're especially in like 12th grade and you have so many exams, competitive exams, school exams, things like that. So you get like really confused. And personally, what I have, experienced and what my friends have experienced is a brochure which has short and crisp information and just to the point information about the career you want to pursue. I think that brochure sticks out from all the university brochures which I have received. Having pictures of the university, maybe having the location, having all the necessary things aligned together and just filtered out information which a student actually requires, and nothing in general which you can find on the web, is something which sticks out as a university brochure for me.
And just one more question to that. I know you said that you're interested in law.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing brochures, are you looking for brochures that are specifically about law or about your specific program?
For me, I don't think I do that, but I've seen a lot of my friends do that. So recently, actually yesterday only, I had visited this university and they had specific brochures for each career. For example, if I want to pursue law, they had a brochure separately for law, then they had a brochure separately for design, business, technology, things like that. So that is also something which like was I was like really attracted to that, because a single brochure with only one page of information about your career, I would like not read that, because that is something I would find on the web too. But for me to actually read that brochure, I want a brochure which has information about my career, about careers which I would want to pursue. So I think that is also something which sticks out.
So to that point, we interact as a student, you interact with many universities. As a counselor, you interact with many universities. As a university, I interact with many students and counselors and other universities. So there's a lot of interaction. I know I was talking to Lakshmi. I'm like, how many universities do you think that you meet with?
Roughly about 10 to 15 a month at least.
Yeah. So that's a lot to keep up with in terms of different programs, different offerings, different locations. So how do you feel like with all of these, universities coming, you're always happy to have us and we appreciate that.
Of
But
course.
how do you feel like what is the best way to stay connected outside of those initial visits? I know for me, I'm in India twice a year, and so I get to see you, maybe twice a year at most. And so, in terms of staying connected, what are some recommendations that you have for universities and high school counselors?
As she rightly said, I'm always more than happy to extend a welcome to every university representative to my campus at any point in time. And I think a lot of them have become more of friends rather than just a professional association. Having said that, every university has an offering to make which is its own speciality. For me, it is really nice to learn what each of them have to offer and understand what they have on their plate. And I try to use them to filter what suits my students the best. But having said that, for me, even beyond just the collection of brochures, I think I'm in touch with each of these representatives at interim periods to ensure that I collect information even in terms of soft copies from them, which is available with me at any point. Not just that, I think as one of the things that I have done, again, which has been of a great help to me, and the university representatives feel that it's a great initiative, is I have a newsletter that I release exclusively from my office every week. Now, this has information about not just webinars or master classes that the universities have. It also has some information about the internships that they offer, or the on site or the off site programs that they offer. In addition, there is a spotlight section that I've designed exclusively for the university representatives, where every week there is one write up of a specific university from across the world that is highlighted. Now, these are customized articles which the university representatives share with me with their contact details. This is shared with the entire community, parent community, and with students from grade 7 upwards until grade 12. So, university representatives who have actually met me so far are aware of this. Every single one is aware of this, and they're more than happy to share with me information as and how they have it, which they feel is important to be shared with the community. And it has been very effective because they do have their inboxes filled with emails either from parents or students instead of waiting for me. So this is one way that I actually use, the platform to get them connected with my community as well. Having said that, I am definitely in touch with most of them. When I say most of them, uh, people who have been interacting with me for a while are aware that whether there's anything on the offer or not, we do catch up on a virtual call once in a month at least. We just try to understand what's happening from my end and they share what's happening. So I think these connections are of a great help to me.
Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned that you generally are sending out a newsletter. Do you feel like it's helpful or do you feel like it's overwhelming to also receive newsletters from the universities?
No, definitely not. I think I'm more than happy to receive as many emails from them with all the data that they have because uh, I'm trying to cut down the overwhelming factor there because students and parents do not know what's right and what's wrong. And if it is filtered from my end, they know that it's genuine. And when I'm talking to the representatives and they share it with me, I know it's genuine enough. So definitely, I'm more than happy to receive as many as possible and accordingly share it with the community.
So yeah, email communication is huge for all parties.
But having said that, I do like to add here usually none of the representatives have the entire student data from my end. That's something that's not given out as a protocol. But whenever they do come to us for university fairs, if they really find now you people come in for the fairs and you cannot definitely collect information from every single student who attends your booth, but there might be one of students she was mentioning about law, for example. I'm sure she must have spent a lot of time with the representative talking about law. So similarly, if you find some student who's really standing out and is really keen, you usually at least make a note of the name. When you can reach back to me at a later stage and said, there's just this one student who was very keen, I don't mind sharing all the information. Having said that, vice versa, the students reach out to me and say, ma'am, I have been interested in this college. Can I get connected? I'm more than happy to do that. So though the standard data is not available, I'm more than happy to connect as and how required.
So from the student perspective, you're also receiving emails from your
Right.
counselor and different things like that.
Yeah.
So, and also universities.
Yeah.
So when you're receiving email communications, again, just like the brochure, what is really sticking out to you? You're getting lots of emails, you're probably deleting some, you're looking at others. So kind of what does that process look like to you and what makes you feel excited to read the email?
Right. Okay, so having said that, I get a lot of emails from universities. Something which really sticks out in an email for the universities is short, crisp, and to the point information, highlighted important points, and stuff in bold. For example, the location in bold, the important parts in bold, maybe highlighted, or just the to the point information, things which are not too general, which we can find on the web too. If I have that email, I'm not deleting that. I will read through it thoroughly. I'll research more about the university. Then I'll also talk to my friends about it, maybe suggest them that this university is sticking out to me because it has to the point information. It has things which maybe I want to pursue, or maybe even she wants to pursue, for example. And we have this conversation then. And but like if I have an email which is like too long, with like long paragraphs and information which is too general, which I have already read on the web, then I might just delete it. So I think this is something which really sticks out in an email to me. So
Yeah, and I think from a university perspective, we have to know what programs you're
Yeah,
interested in.
definitely.
So asking students those questions is important.
It
So that
definitely is because I've also seen these universities have little placards where they have the name of the student, the class, the school, and they also have this additional thing which I really like is whatever programs you're interested in, you write them down. For example, if I write the programs I'm interested in, for example, law, international relations, and then I specifically get a customized email about those things, filtered out information, to the point information, nothing really exaggerated or things which I don't want, but like to the point, exact information which I want. A customized email is something which is also sticking out to me. So, yeah.
so once you receive these email communications and it sticks out to you, what's kind of the next step for you?
Okay, so the next step is bringing these emails to my school counselor and getting behind their back and just saying, "Ma'am, I need your help," and just asking a million questions until I am not clear about it. And although she gets irritated, but we don't speak about that. Um, so,
So what in terms of you've seen emails that you're interested in and you've had these interactions with your school counselor. So can
yeah,
you recall an interaction with your counselor that has
right.
really made you feel empowered and has been a really meaningful
Oh,
experience?
I just had that a few days back. So I had this meeting with my school counselor, which is a one-to-one interaction with my school counselor, which is a important and a mandatory thing we have in our school. We also have the parents in that meeting, so my mom was also present there, and I told her that, "Ma'am, I've got these emails with me, and I forwarded to her before the meeting itself so that she can read through it and she can get more information about the university." So she had that information. She had information about what I want to pursue for like law. She told me which university I should apply to, which I should think about. And we also had my mom there, so there's no kind of confusion, because like I said, we have a lot of pressure and exams and things like that which we have to face. So being surrounded and supported by people, and like having the guidance by the school counselors, is something which is also really nice to have around. And yeah, and then we have also, like, to add up, um, we can also, something which I would like really want school counselors to do is maybe make an Excel sheet, which has, for me specifically, for every student, have university list. For example, all the universities I want, that list with the majors they offer, the minors they offer, the compulsory subjects they have, the tuition fees, the location, things like that. So whenever I'm like trying to apply to the university, at the end of the session, and there's so many people applying to the university and you just want to get in through first, I don't have confusion. I don't have to run around people and say that, "Oh my god, I don't know what majors and minors these colleges offer," because I already have them in my Excel sheet. So I don't have to run behind people and say I don't know what is happening in the world. So I think that is an addition which can be added by the counselors as well.
Yeah, so time can be a big restraint in a lot of ways. So your time with your counselor, also university time when we're visiting high schools can also be very short within our interaction. So I'm curious, Lakshmi, what are some recommendations amongst these time restraints that you have interacting with universities, students interacting with universities? What are some recommendations that you have for universities to make the most of the time that we do have during these visits?
Uh, I had made a statement a while ago. That's a practice that I follow. This is something that I'd like to, share with the university representatives to give it a try. It does follow, in case you guys are not doing it yet. Please reach out to the school counselor and share your university information specific as a soft copy to them. That would talk a little brief about your university, why should be considered, or all the important factors that you think a student or a parent should know prior to the university career fair. So that actually gives the community a chance to understand and do their homework way ahead. At the same time, maybe you should go a step ahead and understand what kind of students are they, what kind of curriculum would they follow, and what is the quality of the colleges that they are expecting to apply to as a trend in the school per se. So this gives you a valid understanding of what kind of students can you actually expect, and what kind of questions could you probably be, expected to answer there. This bit of an exercise would definitely go a long way in trying to make the best use of the short time. I'm sure you guys don't spend more than an hour, hour and a half in every school. And in that, you really tend to meet hundreds of students. So I think this information would go a long way for you.
And on that same note, you also have rugby, you also have very limited time to interact with many universities when they come to your school. So what are some things, obviously Lakshmi's talking about really helping to prepare students for these interactions because of the time restraints. So what are some things that you do in order to navigate the short time and making sure that you're getting what you need out of these interactions?
All right. First of all, I agree with what ma'am said, is preparing the students beforehand for the college fair. Although what I personally follow is, I take the brochures or the cards or like contact details of the universities from all the universities which have come to my school. I keep them, and when I am done taking all of them, I go to each university which I would want to go to, which I find is useful to me. I go there, I ask information about it, maybe a short 5 minute talk, so that we don't, pull the conversation too much for like other students to also come and have interactions. Because I personally have seen my friends also telling me after the college fair that, oh, I wanted to go to that university, but I could not because of the time crunch. So that is something which I think all the students have been facing, and I have faced that. So maybe a 5 minute quick talk about what they offer, what courses they have, things like that, really help to like have conversation in the time crunch we already have. Although after taking the brochures from each university, I filter out whatever universities I would want to go to. I read the brochure, I skim and scan through it little, and if I like some university, I'll give a detailed research to it, and I'll talk to my school counselor about it, and then she'll give more information about that, maybe talk to the university representative about it. So that is also something which is an addition.
Yeah, so that's back to your point, Lakshmi. We see the full circle moment where the student is interested in the university. You've already reached out, you have the contact, you have the information, and then you can share that with the student. So hopefully that has given you guys an idea into kind of the real raw student perspective and counselor and university perspective of kind of how to navigate the current climate of recruitment and interacting in some sort of cohesive triangle, whatever that looks like to you. So of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, Nusrat, the counselor from Bangladesh, has been very kind to offer a video. And so again, her perspective was really important to us. And so we wanted to continue to include her in this. So we're going to go ahead and share a video from her, just talking about a few of these topics. I think that we could talk forever about this topic. So we're going to hear a little bit from her, and then we'll have an opportunity for some Q&A.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Nusrat Sharmin. I'm the college counselor at the Aga Khan Academy, Dhaka. I'm very thankful to Mary and Lakshmi to give me these opportunities to be a part of this conference virtually. Mary from Old Dominion University reached out to me whether I would like to be a part of this presentation, and I felt like this is a great opportunity that I could bring some diversity and add more information for our students and what we do from Bangladesh for higher education. In my school, we do have seniors right now, 34 of them, and most of them would be applying abroad. So we try our best to bring different universities at different point of time so that we can help them to find out the best fit get to know all the scholarship information and how their application will be successful. And it is important that we give them empowerment, we give them knowledge, and we give them the right way to send their application. And for all these things, what we have been doing, that we do have a lot of connections, because I have been into this industry for the last 15 years, and I have made very good connections with my friends around the world who are in universities. They became my friends. First, we were just get to know each other from a counselor and university rep, but I think I got so much help. We had so many interactions, and this close connection helped me a lot. And what we try to do, when a university rep is coming, they give us a heads up before 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I try to convey the email to the students and juniors, seniors who would be applying, so they get to know who are coming. And this way, when the rep is in person at our campus, they already know what are the questions they should be asking, what are the pros and cons, especially from students who are first generation students from Bangladesh applying abroad, because I think we all are nervous in this process. So when we get a lot more friendlier approach from the university, it helps us immensely. And when a university rep is aware of our culture, what we want, what the parents want, it also is a very helpful element for the entire community. And here in Bangladesh, the parents play a very, very important role in terms of supporting the students. So we try to invite and encourage the parents also to be a part of this presentation. We try to bring alumni, evidence based, that they can see that students who have been to such and such universities, how successful they are, and what works, what doesn't work. So the parents, after seeing that, they sometimes change their mind. They try to come, they try to reach out to us more, and that's how all these worked well for us from our country. And there is also a lot of the universities that we reached out, that they can send us their newsletter, they can send us what is the new update, what is the new trend in the universities, which we share immediately for our students. And there are different platforms that I use. They are all in close contacts with me, so whenever I get an information, I make sure that I disperse the information to our students immediately. So this kind of communication helps a lot for our students. And there's another point that I would like to bring. When I was talking to Mary and Lakshmi, it is important that I would like to share to the audience, like counseling students in Bangladesh and how university can best connect with me. It is important that when university reps are traveling, if you are traveling, I know you travel to India, you travel to Middle East, we are just few hours flight away. So I would say you make a time for a day that you can visit us. In Bangladesh, we do have 10 to 15 mainstream schools, and a lot of them, I would say, they are very much enthusiastic to go abroad. So if there is a possibility that you can make a travel, do connect with me. I am in different forums. I'm a part of an IC3 program. I'm also my membership for IACAC. Also a special thanks to IC3. I've been a part of IC3 family from 2017. I think we organized one of the first IC3 regional in our country. I think that made a lot of our counselor aware, like what to do the next step. A lot of teachers became counselors. We are very much thankful to IC3 for promoting college counseling for every school. And special thanks right now to Anuradha, Priyanka, Mary and Lakshmi, that you have reached out to help me to connect virtually in this IC3 platform. So I'm very, very grateful for all the opportunities that you have created for me. So different way you can reach out, and we can have collaboration. And if you are coming in Bangladesh only for a day we can connect with all the counselor and we can meet with the universities, and this way I think you can also empower the counselors, and the counselors can reach out and disperse the same information to the students. I think that really works very well, because the counselor have been knowing the students for many years. So when they come to know, like, okay, this university is located here, the food, the accommodation, the safety, all are the questions that is the first thing that comes to the mind of our students and parents. So I would say it's like a very wholesome process, and when we have something that we can promote earlier, especially if we can reach out to our students as early as grade 10, that works really well. So I would say that's it from my part, and I'm very happy that, at least I could connect with all of you virtually, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the conference. Thank you.
So yeah, that's a little bit from Nusrat, a helpful perspective into country-specific variations of how to work alongside counselors. So I know that we have a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes. So again, informal, raw conversation. So if you guys have any questions from the different perspectives, we'd be happy to answer.
Before we get into the question answer session, there is one message which Nusrat wanted me to convey specific to the university representatives. As she had mentioned in her video, she felt that most of the university representatives, while they travel around to the world, somewhere she feels that Bangladesh is definitely not on their important geography note, where she feels that there are a lot of students who would be interested to travel abroad. She personally wanted me to convey to all of you if you can consider Bangladesh as an important travel destination for the students. Thank you. Any questions for us, please? I hope the discussion was of some help. Any questions that you would have for us? Yes, please.
Thanks. Good morning. From the university side, I know you all talked a lot about emails and brochures. I'm curious about perspective on effective virtual engagement with students and also social media, if there's anything in particular that you find the most effective.
Yeah, I think Lakshmi in terms of...
Did you want the student to answer that in specific? So if I understood you right, you wanted to know what specifics do you want the brochure to actually highlight? Is that what it is? Can you keep the mic a little more closer, please? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Is this better?
Yes,
yeah. So
thank you.
asking about, like, I know sometimes we can't travel everywhere, but there's a lot of virtual programming out there. So I don't know if you've had any virtual programming you've seen to be super effective.
Yeah.
And then also social media as well. I know that continues to be a growing presence, and sort of like what is the most effective things there?
Well, for me, from a counselor's perspective, as I said, I completely understand that you can't travel everywhere, nor can you travel frequently. Whichever school that you have been traveling to, or however like, for example, I'm meeting you for the first time, but I'm sure we can get connected and keep in touch with each other. Sharing information via email, where I become a catalyst between you and my students or my parents, would be the best way that I could see, probably, where I can convey all your material to them, and I become your face in your absence to talk about your university to them. That's what I feel. And I don't know if Raghuvi would probably agree on this. So it's more like, when I know a little more about, when I get your soft copy or hard copy of the material, I try to get back to you and understand a little more about you and your university before I convey it to my students, because it's when I'm convinced is when I talk to them. And when she as a student probably understands and feels that this is the right fit for me, or I would like to know more information, I try to give your contact details directly to her to get in touch, where the parents and students reach out to you for a virtual call and take it up from there. So social media, you could use us to put you across in our fraternity or within our community social media as well. Would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, I think I totally agree with what she said because, social media is like a really huge platform for like everybody, and you can connect worldwide to people. But it is also important to like not give all the information out there. So I think it's best to like connect with the school counselor first, and then if we really like the university and if we find it relevant, we tell our school counselor to connect with the university representatives directly to us. So I think I agree totally with her.
I hope that helps. Thank you. Any other question for us? Yeah.
So my question is for the student.
Yeah.
So you've been talking to all those university, you've been talking to counselors. You're in 12th grade.
Right.
Have you made your decision? Are you still in the process? When are you expecting to make a decision?
I wasn't expecting that question, although. So, I mean, yeah, I have made a decision about pursuing a career in law. So, any university which has, a good law course, specifically in India, maybe, but I'm also considering abroad now, thanks to the IC3 conference. So, I think. Like interacting with the university representatives about knowing what exactly they're offering in the law course has also helped me a lot. And for abroad also, because abroad has a different law system. So understanding that is a major thing for me because I do not have a lot of information about that. But now, because I'm considering abroad too, I would like more information about, pursuing career in law outside of India. So, yeah, if that answers your
Any of you
question.
guys have a law program, you have your
Yeah,
next potential
please.
here.
I'm reaching out to all of you after this.
I think someone there had a question as well at the back.
Hi, I wanted a student's perspective on
Right.
this. Now, a lot of students fill in an inquiry form with their contact details as
Right.
well. And I know a lot of universities are having a WhatsApp campaign too. What is your opinion on, a WhatsApp campaign when it comes to getting reminders for application deadlines
Right.
or details about a program? Do you find it intrusive or invading your personal space, or is it helpful?
I think that is quite helpful. I think that is a brilliant idea. So, like reminders, because, like I mentioned, a lot of pressure and like competitive exams, getting dates of exams in the school as well. You kind of, slip out the application dates of colleges, and then you miss it out. So, I think having a WhatsApp group with a reminder to, like push yourself is a great idea. I think that's a fabulous idea.
Thank you.
You had a question.
So my question is for the university reps. As school counselors, a lot of us, I know we do our homework in terms of gathering details of the university, inquiring about the popular majors, informing the students, parents before the university fair. What kind of homework do you think university should be doing? Because I've seen university reps come to my school and tell my students that, oh, you can find that on the website. So my students have come back and told me that, ma'am, if I have to find it on the website, why should I be attending a fair? And on the flip side, the university rep goes on talking about their university that the student is after a point lost, and like she said, it ends up taking a lot of time and others are unable to interact, and I can't tell them that I think you need to stop at this point because there's only so much a student can retain when there are 20 universities maybe visiting. So what kind of homework do you think the uni should do, or we should give details about our school so the universities are prepared when they come?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think that I've found in my experience is a lot of students want to know about what specific courses are being offered within the program that they're interested in. And I mean, for my university, we have over 100 different programs. And so knowing all of the courses is sometimes difficult for me to convey, again, amongst the time restraints and different things like that. But I do think that there are opportunities for me to grow in terms of being able to offer some answers there. You know, like we have this course, we have this course. I don't need to name all of them, but in terms of the homework that I should be doing when I'm traveling to India, I generally know, you know, a lot of the different majors that students are looking for. So being aware and knowledgeable about those courses, I think is something that I've learned to say, hey, Mary, you need to brush up on that kind of stuff before you travel because that's helpful for students rather than, like you said, saying different things that they're not it's indirectly answering questions. So
Maybe you should do a bit of research that, okay, if I'm going to Srinidhi. Thanks. So I feel like it should be at least to a level that if I'm going to visit Srinidhi, I know that most of the students here look to apply for engineering programs or business programs, and you do a little homework in terms of the subject requirements, like do you need math at the HL, SL, which kind of math, etc. Rather than saying find it on the website, because high school kids are honestly confused and the websites are too complicated for them. At times we don't find details as well. So I think a little bit of homework that universities can also do, that okay, we are coming to meet you, what curriculum you offer. I've got that question when the students are there. Oh, by the way, do you offer CBSE? I'm like, sorry, we are an ICSE and a Cambridge school. So I think that's a little bit important.
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
I think it's an important conversation. I was just having the conversation this morning just about what questions should we be asking each other, what is really helpful, rather than questions that we feel like it's just the right thing to ask, but really thinking through how to serve the student best ultimately, rather than just asking a question to ask a question. So I think that's really helpful in terms of hearing your perspective, and that sometimes saying find it online is not a good answer, and so knowing kind of how to navigate that amongst those questions and a lot of questions at one time. And sometimes you can get into that spiral of like, just find it online, just find it online, but it's not necessarily helpful from the student, as you know, from your perspective. So that's good to know.
Well, I think we've actually started 10 minutes late because of the technical glitch with the video. But having said that, I saw your notice that we're almost time. Just one point I'd like to make is, as a counselor myself, or as someone who's interacted very closely with the representatives, to extend to the point that Priyanka just mentioned, from our end as a counselor, what we try to do is uh, we request the university representatives to actually arrive on campus. I know you guys have minute to minute timing. It looks rosy that you travel, but it's not that easy. So we request you guys to actually come a little early, at least for a 10 to 15-minute early meet and greet kind of a session, where me as a counselor actually interact with all of you to give you a better understanding of what the crowd is in my community, what is it that they expect, and what is it that you could probably expect from them as well, and what they expect from you. At the same time, like she said, you could do your homework, as much as that's an important feedback to you. In case you guys don't have the time to really do that, I would really humbly request you guys to utilize this 15-minute prior arrival to understand a little more, at least the last minute, so you're not completely, blanked out by the time the students actually see you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe one more question.
Hi. I want to one. You guys talked about. So this question is primarily for school counselors and for students as well. That you mentioned that we're talking about a lot of fairs and emails. For us to connect with students and with school counselors, but then are there any other apart from meetings and college fairs, are there any other engagement activities that we can expect, because one, even though I'm based in India, I cannot be available in all the cities every time. So are there any other virtual engagement activities that you're open to? If yes, then what are those? Plus, what are the other ways, if you how open you are to just host country specific events for your students?
Great question. Thanks for reminding me about this. I missed stating this point. Yes, of course. I use the network that I have. I use the association that I have with the university representatives beyond college fairs and beyond a college application journey. I do, uh, reach out to the universities and request them if they are willing to help me with sessions by their faculties, for example. Now, depending on how you, like, for example, foreign universities have their faculty traveling to, different countries, traveling to India, depending on their availability, or it could be a virtual session. I usually reach out to my, let's say, a certain university, Old Dominion, for example. She comes and says, hey, Lakshmi, I have a great computer science faculty who's willing to offer some, a workshop, for example. I reach out to my computer science department and check with the teachers if they would like to have a session on a specific subject area, and that would actually be inculcated as part of a classroom curriculum, so the presence is absolutely there. And I use your faculty to actually do a knowledge share to my students. If it can be a certification course, it adds up to the profile, and the importance is much higher. And I also use this faculty availability even to help as a PD for my teachers as well. So even before my teachers start, letting them graduate, they kind of understand if the universities are expecting this from students when they reach there, then I would like to actually get my students on track there. So I do definitely reach out for faculty exchange programs. I definitely have student exchange programs that I'm open to. If you have a customized online residential program, online summer programs or seasonal programs, or if you have a residential program that you can plan, I'm more than happy to do it department wise, if that answers your question. Yes.
Thanks. So Lakshmi and Mary has told us what the universities and counselors have been doing. I want to ask Raghavi, what are they not doing? What do you wish that, oh my God, why can't they do this? So is there something that you feel that there's a gap that the students need and the guidance counselors or the unis are not able to give you?
I hope I'm not beaten up by the university representatives after this, but I think like for like some universities specifically, I have experienced them just saying things about their universities, just going on and on and on, but they don't actually answer your question, which is just um, they don't actually face it, but they just go on and on and on about their university, how it is good, and things which is not relevant to what I asked. If I asked what majors do you have for law, they'll say um, we have this campus, and we have a very huge campus, and we have teachers and this and that, but that is something I can also find on the web. But while I'm asking you a question about law, I would want certain details about that question itself. And also because of the time crunch, because we only have like an hour or an hour and a half. So because of that, also because all other students also have to ask the university representatives their questions, so I can't take all of their time. So I think just to the point information about what the student is asking is perfectly fine. No other information is required.
Just one statement for the university reps. I started off the session by saying, you guys are absolutely wonderful. We support each other, and you're there not selling and advising. Having said that, I definitely have 1%. Time up, got it. Thanks. There are certain representatives definitely whom I reach out and say, hey, listen, I have a student, I have a parent interested in this particular university. Can you please, I will be introducing you. Can you spare about 10 minutes on a virtual call and explain? While most of you definitely do it, I still second and stand by the statement I first made. There are some guys who definitely come back and say, hey, Lakshmi, can you just ask them to email me? I don't think I would want to talk to them unless papers are in place. I think that's something, as a courtesy, I say yes. By now, I really know who behaves how, who reacts how, so I reach out to them accordingly. But if you can please spare some time, we walk in doing window shopping, we don't buy everywhere. We do a proper research, and this is college, not a clothing. So if you can really spare some time for a 15-minute call with a parent or student, it goes a really, really long way. And you would be doing us a great favor because all of us are working for the students. That's a humble request. Thanks. Any other questions? Before he really pushes me out. No, on a serious note, any other questions? I really hope the session was of some help because we've been trying to pull in information from all the perspectives here. Thank you so much for your time.